What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners for today's 9-game NBA main slate, courtesy of Osmo.com and presented by Superdraft. It's our last slate of the week, and this one's getting crazy right before our eyes with a lot of guys getting ruled out and a lot of value opening up. So let's get that power of positivity in the air to close out the week. And right now, please hit that like button if you want to win a free month of Osmo Plus. Like the video and comment your top value play according to Draftkings salaries down below. Yesterday, one guy guessed Seth Curry correctly, but he commented after lock, so that doesn't count. Make sure you get your picks in before lock. And right now, like this video if you want your chance to win that free month of Osmo Plus. But you guys know the drill. We've got no time to waste here in the Four Corners, so let's get right into our first corner of the top owned plays. And Terrence Ross in a matchup versus Houston, there's 108 implied points for Orlando. Ross has 33% expected ownership on Draftkings, while he has just 9% on FanDuel. Ross saw 29 minutes last game with Markelle Fultz out, and he can shoot himself into usefulness in a pace-up game where Orlando needs additional points to keep up with Houston's firepower. Another top owned play on FanDuel in particular is Marquise Chris in a matchup at Utah, where there's 98.8 implied points for Golden State. Marquise Chris is 13% expected ownership on Draftkings, while he has a slate high 36% on FanDuel. Chris stands to see additional minutes thanks to Draymond Green sitting for rest with a price that makes him very appealing on FanDuel, but he's no sure thing given the bad matchup and just 20 minutes projected for Marquise Chris. And another top owned play today looks like Ben Simmons in a match versus New Orleans, where there's 115 implied points for Philadelphia. Ben Simmons has 23% expected ownership on Draftkings, while he has 27% on FanDuel. Simmons was down again against Boston yesterday, but he could see more action in this pace-up spot against New Orleans' weak defense, with Joel Embiid having really exerted himself in the front end of this back-to-back. For our next corner, let's hit on some of the top value plays on the slate, including Tyus Jones in a matchup versus Milwaukee, where there's 109.5 implied points for Memphis. Jones stands to see a big minutes increase with John Morant sidelined, and while it's a tough matchup, Jones is cheap and he averages a passable 0.82 fantasy points per minute in core time without Morant. And another top value is his teammate, the Anthony Melton, in that same matchup versus Milwaukee, where there's 109.5 implied points for Memphis. Melton averages 1.2 fantasy points per minute without Morant, but he'll likely compete directly with Tyus Jones for minutes, so it seems hard to play both guys together despite both having strong chances as value today. And our last top value play looks like DJ Augustin in that matchup versus Houston, where there's 108 implied points for Orlando. Markelle Fultz is expected out again, and that would open up another start for Augustin in a pace-up spot where, again, Orlando needs to score a lot more than usual to keep up with Houston's offense. For our next corner, let's hit on some of the other top plays on the slate, including Jonas Valanciunas in that matchup versus Milwaukee, where there's 109.5 implied points for Memphis. Jonas averages 1.4 fantasy points per minute without Ja Morant, and Brandon Clark is also out, so we could see extended run, though Milwaukee's team construction seems like an odd matchup for Jonas' mostly stationary style of play. Another top play today looks like Kawhi Leonard in that matchup at Minnesota, where there's 118.8 implied points for the Clippers. Kawhi should see even more time with the ball thanks to no Lou Williams and Patrick Beverley in a competitive game against Minnesota's weak 109.7 defensive efficiency rating. And another top play for me looks like Domantas Sabonis in a matchup at Atlanta, where there's 114.5 implied points for Indiana. Sabonis is over 45.75 fantasy points in 5 of his last 6 games, and it's a strong spot against Atlanta, who plays with faster pace and a bottom of the league 112.2 defensive efficiency rating. Now for our last corner, here are some lower owned dart throws, including Jerome Robinson in that matchup at Minnesota, where there's 118.8 implied points for the Clippers. Jerome Robinson could pick up the start as the nominal point guard with Patrick Beverley and Lou Williams out at near minimum prices industry-wide and a lot of room for him to pick up usage. Another dart throw I like again is Zach LaVine in the matchup versus Charlotte, where there's 109.5 implied points for Chicago. LaVine has over 48.75 fantasy points in his last 2 games, and his price offers upside with him projected for under 5% ownership, despite the matchup against Charlotte's poor 111.4 defensive efficiency rating. And the last lower owned dart throw I'm looking at is Malcolm Brogdon in a matchup at Atlanta, where there's 114.5 implied points for Indiana. Brogdon leads the team in usage and assist rate, and he should see more upside with Atlanta playing with more pace and poor defense in a game that should also be competitive. Some of the data may change around because of guys getting ruled out as I was producing this video, but this is what I'm seeing so far for today's slate. So right now, guys, please hit that like button. And if you want to win that free month of Osmo Plus, like the video and comment your top value play according to Draftkings salaries before the slate locks down below. As always, those free months of Osmo Plus come courtesy of Superdraft. So right now, head over to superdraft.io. If you use the promo code OSMO, AWESEMO, you'll get $20 free with any deposit of $100 or more. So right now, go to superdraft.io and use that promo code OSMO for $20 free. And with ownership likely to get crazy today, you may want to use this promo code Switch and Hedge for half off your first month of Osmo Plus. This deal with half off the first month goes away today. So get in there right now and use that promo code Switch and Hedge at osmo.com/join. If you you want to get half off your first month for the last time ever. This deal is going away today. One thing that's never going away is me on Twitter and Instagram, so go follow me at Chris Spags right now. My personal podcast comes out tomorrow, and I've got 7 days a week of NFL and NBA content, so go check me out right now on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I'll be back on Live Before Lock later today to close out the week with my pal, the Chubster Josh Engelman, so tune in then, and I'll be back with you guys on Monday for another Four Corners. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great night and a great weekend, and as always, good luck.